Oh, hi guys, so today I'm down Bexhill Beach. The tide's pulling out, so it's getting quite rough, which is quite cool. I've just been into Bexhill Museum, which I haven't been to since I was probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 years old, something like that. It's changed quite a lot, definitely worth a visit. So we have loads of stuff on this video that I've seen when I've been in there. It's definitely worth a visit. But at the moment I'm just doing some slow motion video and some stills of this lot coming in. So shooting with the RX10 Mark IV again, just because it's so convenient and such a capable camera for what I need. And the shots I've got today on the video here, so this is shot at 500 frames per second, slow motion. Nothing's been done to anything in this video, so it's all straight out of the camera, and I've just left it as is, just so you can kind of get a real world view. I grew up in Bexhill, so I was born in 1977. And obviously a lot of people know me, friends follow me and things like that, so you'll know all this, but obviously some people won't. So I was born in 1977. Obviously things have changed since then, but one nice memory was going to the museum. And in the museum, it was, well, back then it was just one gallery, so it wasn't very big, but still it had loads and loads of things in there. It's all very lots of different things from around the world. One being the massive spider crab, which you'll see a photo of later, and loads of other stuff here. So model of the Delaware Pavilion once it had been built, or the design of it, back in the 30s. Everything from butterflies to scorpions to dragonflies, and some even dinosaur bones, things that have been dug up locally, to sort of animals that have been sort of pickled to preserve them, from the Barracks Tapestry from 1066, to animal skulls, like this is a tiger, that's from a tiger, I think that's a chicken, can't remember exactly. Everything from this sort of stuff from the Romans, Egypt, things like that. Stuffed animals, there's lots of stuffed animals, from a lady who apparently donated them, and they're from the 1800s. The big fashion sort of gallery there, with loads of different types of clothing from different eras, and I think back into the 1800s, sort of up to 1990s maybe. And this is the Bexhill Park, which is sort of round the back of the museum, and this is what it used to look like when I was a kid, with the roundabout and everything there. A big slide, if I remember correctly, and I remember these rocking horse things. Really, I mean, back then it was really good fun, but you can see there straight onto paving slabs. There was no health and safety involved back those days, but funny enough, we never got injured, so what's what. Even climbing back up the slide there, as you can see. There was a swimming pool there, which is actually on the grounds of where the museum is now. They've extended where the swimming pool used to be, because it was salt water, very cold, not heated, I don't think, but as you can see there, it was still well used. I couldn't remember what year it closed, but yeah, tons and tons of history locally, and how we used to be. Things have changed a lot over the last 30 years or so, for me anyway. And obviously some of this stuff's from the 60s as well. So there's Bexhill Beach at its finest. There's the Delaware in the background, and sort of summertime. Apparently, I think they said that was August when that was filmed. It's obviously quite hot, not hugely crowded, but obviously the beach was well used. And it's actually quite a nice memory of thinking back as a kid, when I was probably about 5 or 6, down there with family and things, having ice creams and just walking along the beach and making sandcastles and things like that. Makes you feel quite old, actually. But yeah, how things have changed. So you used to get like a slab of ice cream shoved in a wafery thing, even people playing cricket on the beach. But yeah, absolutely, really cool place. I mean, the Bexhill Museum costs £3 to get in for an adult. I can't remember how much it is for kids or anything like that, but apparently they've got quizzes and sort of papers you can fill out as you walk around, so it keeps the kids interested and hopefully they learn, which is really quite cool. So I'm glad I went back. Probably wish I should have done it earlier, actually. But they've got on the top floor you've got all the sort of the original things that I remember. As you go downstairs, you've got a sort of motoring area, and you've got it's Richard's School. I think it was back in 94, 95 it was done. They made the fastest electric car, and they got loads of awards and obviously records, which was cool. This is some of the old station stuff, and buses and things like that. This is a steam powered racing car, and that's one of the Elva racing cars that was built locally. And you've also got Earl's Bakery there, and the steam car was because obviously Bexhill was the birthplace of British motor racing, where they used to race along the seafront, which actually used to be a private road. So they'd up to Galley Hill, so they'd race along there, and it became quite big. And I can remember even in the 90s and stuff, it was still going strong. Unfortunately, it's been cancelled now due to obviously insurance and things like that, health and safety. This is Eddie Izzard's train set when he was a kid, and he's donated it to the museum, and he's done, I think, quite a lot for the museum, which is really good of him. This was a lot bigger when it was in his house, so this is a scaled down sort of part of the train set, and it is Bexhill. So he grew up in Bexhill in Sidley, and it's all sort of a scaled down model of some of the buildings and hotels and stuff like that. As you can see there, a poster. Apparently this was his house, his actual house. I think the far right of the house next to the Pelham Hotel. A little bit of read there, so you can see about the family train set. They're actually building another one in the next room down for next year, and it was Eddie Izzard's, would have been Eddie Izzard's dad's 90th birthday, I believe. I might be wrong, but they're building a new, larger train set, and it's actually got Bexhill West Station, which used to go out to Crowhurst and off to London, that direction, as you can see there, and sort of the more the railway line that run along towards Eastbourne and Hastings, the other part of the Bexhill Railway. So that should be quite good. That's going to be next year. This is one of the maps. It's huge, massive map, and it shows you where the bombs hit, or any V1 rockets and any other explosions and stuff that happened in the Second World War. And then back up into the sort of main gallery, where a few more stuffed animals and things like that. Very interesting. There's some animals I've never seen. Obviously everything like from a normal squirrel, but lots of things that I haven't seen close up before. Even though obviously I've got big zoom lenses and things like that. And then I sort of left and then went back down on the beach. Fabulous day. Like I say, £3 to go and visit the museum actually, and a lot of people I know haven't even been, and they live in Bexhill, so I think for £3 it's worth a while. Definitely if it's a rubbish day, if it's raining or whatever, which it was quite windy. So yeah, it's worth a visit, and I think I'm definitely going to go back maybe next year. Obviously have a look at that train set once it's finished. When they finish building, it's all computer controlled and everything apparently, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, so anyway guys, I hope that was a little insight of where I grew up and what I used to do as a kid and everything. So just back to the camera quickly I was using today. The RX-10 Mark IV had a full battery, and I was in the museum for around about 2.5 hours, thereabouts. Camera on all the time. Took quite a few shots and quite a bit of video, as you can see, especially the slow motion video. And the battery was down to 0%. And just so everyone knows, if you're using this camera, and I know I've got quite a few followers who actually use the RX-10 Mark IV, and I'm hoping I've helped a few people to use it and get the most out of it. The battery, even when it was down to showing exhausted, I carried on shooting for around about another 20 minutes or so, and the even doing slow motion processes like 500 frames per second, obviously recording that to the card and everything. And I actually walked up the beach and decided to go home before the battery actually ran out. So it actually does last longer than I thought, so I was really pleased with that. And anyway guys, so please subscribe, please click the notification bell, and I'll see you soon.